And we are live. Welcome to my one viewer, another Monday night chill stream. Today is Monday, the March 7th or 8th. I don't know what today is. What is today? 7th. And the weather today was springtime. It was like 72 degrees, and I got the window open over there, and it just started changing. Just in the window right before the show. I'm like, I don't want to get rained on at the beginning of my show. Like, come on, don't rain on my parade, bro. Literally, don't rain on my parade. But I think that the weather's supposed to drop down to like 40 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow. So I think that transition just began. Anyway, everybody, welcome to another Monday night chill stream. The title of tonight's broadcast is fighting season, right? Like traditionally, springtime was always fighting season when people went to war, right? After the snows, the winter cleared, then you go to war, and you go try and take somebody else's shit. And I got to say that, like I've been sitting here screaming at people, buy Bitcoin hyperinflation for like 2 years. I literally at one point, I was like screaming and cursing at people. I was like in a very negative place. Now, everything that I was talking about is happening, right? It's not because I'm some fucking psychic genius, but if you can see what reality is, it's not that difficult to extrapolate as long as you don't extrapolate too far. I'm not super happy that the inflation that I was talking about is here, and it's not. Everyone knows it's not going away anytime soon. I look around at people that are fucking shell-shocked. They're terrified. They don't know what the fuck to think. And I sit here thinking like, well, what else? What could I say differently? Or what did I fail to say? Or what did I, how did I get this wrong? Like, how did I not, how did I fail to get my message across? And I don't know, I think it's easy for a lot of people to go, well, he's full of shit. He's crazy. He's drunk. Could you just yell at some Jews and say funny shit and entertain me while I ignore really big things going on in the background? And the answer is I can't do that every week. You know what I mean? I've tried to do that. I honestly made it like a concerted effort in the last year to try and start fights in social media and do some kind of blood sports. The last one I did was that one in November on Politically Provoked, which was pretty good, to be honest, for working 10 hours and then drinking however much I drank, and then doing an hour plus on Norvin's show and then doing an hour on that show. All in all, I did pretty good, but I can't do that every week. I can't be the clownish distraction from reality, right? Not really. Like I will try, but not everybody wants to play along because there's winners and losers, and mostly they end up being the losers. So, shit, there's no way to avoid the war story. It's, like I said last week, American Jews fighting Russian Jews over who controls the Ukrainian Jews. And all of this is going to take a while to sort out. And I think a lot of it, I remember maybe a month or two ago, there was some sort of bullshit vote at the UN, right? United Nations was like, we're going to vote on climate change. And the Russians went, fuck you, we're not voting. We're not going along with that. And at the time, I remember tweeting that the Green New Deal, the environmentally sound governance, the carbon credits, the CO2 is going to blow up the planet, global warming scam. Russia's not in on that, right? The reason why they don't support the agenda isn't because they're honest truth tellers. They're not. You know what I mean? they don't support the agenda because they're not going to get any Western tax money from it, and no one's going to lift the sanctions from them anyway. So fuck it. Why should we go along with your fucking scam? Basically, that's what Russia was saying. Like the group of Jews in Russia whose money and territory is shrinking, are not going to help the Jews in New York and London, whose empire is expanding, right? So why would they, right? Why would they? We're not getting any money out of this, so why am I going to be for you if there's no benefit to me? It's pretty obvious and straightforward, but people see it obviously through lenses that distort their understanding of reality. And here's what life is like for most people. I gotta do some screen shares. We gotta throw some of the stuff up there. I don't have that much really this week. Not as much as I thought I was gonna have. I can't even remember now where I shit, and I have like stuff I'm putting on Facebook for me, family, which they're just fucking hopeless stuff. And then there's like more spicier stuff that I put on Gab. But this is most of your life, whether you like it. Most people don't want to admit it, but this is a much bigger part of their life than they know. And when you become an adult, you think you're going to pursue the truth, and essentially this is your life for a really, really long time, and maybe for your entire life. You imagine you understand what's going on, you're dead wrong. You change your mind, you imagine you understand what's going on. Again, you're dead wrong. It's not fun to hear this, and it's not flattering for people to hear this, but it's truer than and you can't figure out how to get out of this circle regardless of how high your perceived IQ number is, you can't figure out how to get out of this. And that's a bigger deal than you think. A much bigger deal than you think, because you have a limited amount of time here. You really have a limited amount of time, and you're wasting it with delusional things, with a whole lot of delusional things. Where's my other stuff? No, where's that? No. What is this? What did I write? I can't even look. I can't even do my own. Yeah. All right. So, we'll do this. This isn't bad, but here's a reality that wherever you sit, and there's a lot of people who are like, there's so many people waiting to be rescued. You know what I mean? So many people for the handsome prince to come rescue them. There's men out there on social media that are really women, right? Because they're waiting to be rescued, like Princess Pureheart, or fucking, or what's her name, Rapunzel. You know what I mean? They're just gonna let down their hair, and then the brave knight in shining armor is gonna come fucking rescue them, and fix all the problems. Well, that's not gonna happen, right? So this is an interesting. And a great photo. This has to do with artificial intelligence and video. So what you're seeing is the Belgian parliament, right? You're seeing the parliament of Belgium sitting there in session. Technically, they're legislating, but all they're really doing is looking at their smartphones, right? And when you analyze the footage, 80% of the time, the people who are supposed to be leading you are just looking at their smartphones. Which really, that's what most of you are doing at your job anyway, right? More than half the people you ever see are all grabbing at their phones, sending out a quick text. I'm on the road all the time. I see people all the fucking time. They're doing FaceTime while they're driving. They're watching videos. They're doing all kinds of crazy shit. And to be honest, I caught myself doing that more than once. And so now what I do when I get um, when I get a drive job, if I'm going, if I'm going deep, I'm going to whatever, Boston or Philly or Baltimore or Hartford or whatever. As soon as I get a job and I've acknowledged to the system, my company system, that I have the piece and I'm on my way, I just shut my fucking phone off entirely. I just shut the whole fucking thing off and I just drive the car. And that's working out way better for me because one, I'm getting there faster and I'm getting there safer. So understanding that most people are lost in their own little world. You know what I mean? That little world looks like your smartphone. It looks like your screen, whatever. If you sit in front of a big screen all day, but the fact that that's the where most of your life is spent. That's where most of these other people's lives are spent. That expecting them to rescue you is to be is asking to be abused and humiliated. And I don't understand why you would do that. I just don't understand why you would do that. So, where was the thing? I was looking at. I actually sent myself some stuff. Where is it? Where is it? Guess I didn't get it. I intended to send it to myself, but well, whatever. It doesn't even fucking matter. The nation of Ukraine has hired they've hired a Rothschild, an actual Rothschild, to come and assist them with restructuring their debt. A Rothschild is in the Ukraine helping them restructure their debt for the future. Twitter just had like a short time ago that the IDF is going to deploy their special forces to Ukraine. The first time the IDF is actually deployed, I think, outside Israel and ever. You know what I mean? But they're going to go help Zelensky in Ukraine, right? So it's fighting season. And they're fighting over what? I don't know. You know what I mean? People have pointed out that Russia and Israel are still coordinating their air traffic and stuff like that. So how much is Russia really fighting with Israel? I don't know. It's all bullshit. There was a thing that I heard from a guy on BitChute that the entire Cold War was faked. And that's true. At the end of World War II, the German army had fucking destroyed whatever Russia was. Remember, Russia was 75, 80 years behind the West, at least. Whatever they had built up, whatever they managed to build up by trading with the West to build their socialist utopia, fucking Germans flattened that shit. And America rebuilt it. Now you say, well, America didn't rebuild it. America used the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe. Yeah, unofficially, we rebuilt all that stuff. And there was a guy who wrote all that stuff down. He worked at believe it or not, Newark Airport. He used to fly tons of stuff, documents everything, all kinds of equipment, or ship it out from Port Newark, which is a port right near the airport, over to Russia. And anything that, even though legally we weren't allowed to give any assistance to Russia that was not Lend-Lease, specifically war related. It was not to rebuild Russia. There was tons of stuff ordered, like an insane amount of things, copper wire, literally hydroelectric turbines, all kinds of shit that were built, stored in the United States, and shipped to Russia at the end of the war. The Cold War itself, the entire Cold War was a fucking hoax because Russia was destroyed at the end of World War II. There was nothing there. We literally rebuilt it from the fucking ground up at the expense of a lot of things in the U.S., at the expense of our war effort. And God knows how many fucking goy died in that because we couldn't rewire. I don't know how many miles of copper wire were spun and stored on giant wooden spools and held in upstate New York for shipment to Russia after the war when the U.S. Navy was still trying to raise the fucking fleet um, out of Pearl Harbor and needed copper wiring to rewire the ships for their fire control systems. But they couldn't get the copper because the copper had been set aside for shipment to Russia at the end of the war. No shit. This guy, I don't remember what he was a colonel, and he was a World War I vet who got assigned to the War Department in World War II, and he thought he was going to do one thing, and he ended up doing another thing. And a guy named Harry Hopkins, Harry Hopkins, was the guy who rebuilt all of Russia, and he was a czar. Judas Fly Chai, the Angry Persian Michelin guy. OV is streaming. Pedophiles are streaming on YouTube. Wow, that's exciting. There's nothing I'm less interested in than pedophiles like OV, Pete right? Pete is streaming on YouTube. Congratulations. The federal government has a lot of ways to make shit happen. I guarantee Norvin's going to be streaming soon on YouTube, and OV will stream snipe Norvin, and Norvin will stream snipe me, and blah, 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 blah. And all these fucking shithead welfare fucking degenerates who couldn't think up 3 sentences worth of fucking content will spend their entire fucking social media existence talking about what other people did and said, and give you nothing for it. So anyway, Judas Flychai, welcome to the show. Welcome, sir. That's you, and now it's one other person. There's another lurker. There's a lurker out there. I don't know who that lurker is. It's probably not Bob Paxton because I lost a subscriber, which is good. I think we're down to 51 subscribers. And like I said, I'm not being ironical. This is not reverse psychology. If this channel gets like huge, then if I say Dindu Americans, I say Chopstick Americans, I say whatever, we're fucked. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to be reported for hate speech. And then 2 years of me fucking streaming going to be fucking washed down the digital drain like that. And I would prefer that not to happen. So I would rather have a small exclusive club, whether you want to be here, you don't want to be here, whether you like it, you don't like it. Then I don't really want like a lot of subscribers, because the wider you cast your net, the more the more you have to water down what you say, right? So, in a lot of ways, like here, this is one of my favorite fucking memes. I love this shit. By the way, I subscribe to the Floydies NFT. This is what runs our government, the most powerful government on the face of the earth right now. This is the guiding hand at the White House. And this is absolutely what we are fighting against. But right now we are living under this world. Okay, there it is, right? You see St. George of Minneapolis. St. George of Minneapolis guiding the hand. His spirit, his ghost guides the very hand of Joe Biden in everything Joe Biden does, right? The man who can recite the catechism of the crack pipe. You know what I mean? The guy who knows the holy writ of fentanyl, right? That's who guides the hand of the most powerful executive on the face of this earth. This is the world we live under. And like I said, it ain't getting better anytime soon. That things are now going, they're going shithouse everywhere. The White House is, scrambling to say all kinds of stuff. Now we're going to buy oil from Venezuela, who we hated up until 6 months ago. We're going to buy oil from Iran. You know, what's his name? The con man, Elon Musk says, "Oh, yeah, drill more." Like, Mr. Electric Cars says you should drill more. The reality of environmentally sound governance, which is a con, which is based on Enron's carbon credits marketplace concept from the 1990s, is being crashed by the Russians, who were saying, like I said earlier, we're not being let in on this scam. You're not letting us off in the sanctions. You're not going to share any of this money with us. So fuck you. We're gonna make us think. No, a lot of white people are going to die. Almost no Jews are going to die, and this is going to put a real fucking dent in the plans of the elite. Okay. And I was watching, right around this COVID was ending, you watch stuff from JP Morgan and a couple others talking about the metaverse. Do you remember how Facebook, which used to be LifeLog, the Mark Zuckerberg project, was changed its name to Meta, right? And they started talking about the metaverse. What is the metaverse? The metaverse is a purely digital world where you wear those goggles, right? And you're in that digital world and you move your hands and your hands move in the digital world, all that shit. It's horrible. It's an abject failure. But JP Morgan and all these companies are saying, no, there's trillions of dollars to be made in the metaverse. You know what I mean? The metaverse is like, you can buy property in the metaverse, or blah, 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 all this shit. And I'm like, what's with this fucking metaverse thing? Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around that. I'm like, okay, it's fake as fuck, right? You got to log on with these VR goggles, which half the people who put them on feel sick. When they move around, it gives them a sense of nausea. It's like the science fiction novel Mind Killer from Spider Robinson in the 1980s. But so the idea was like Nike is going to put out NFTs, and that Nike is going to have, you could buy property in the metaverse. You could do this in the metaverse. So I'm thinking, okay, so what's the plan? They're going to offer you some digital bullshit and extract real value from you. And I'm like, is this a transition from like the analog stock market that we have now to the metaverse? Like, because it's all about a resource grab, right? It's all about taking more for them at the top, less for you, right? They get to eat meat. You got to eat bugs. They get to live in air conditioning and fly in private jets. You got to live in a fucking pod and sweat your balls off. So how do they convince people? How do they get the wealth out of people? Like, how do they extract the wealth? And I'm like, well, they tell you that this metaverse thing is a great thing, and you're going to sell your real world stock, your Apple stock, your Microsoft, your whatever, IBM, with Berkshire Hathaway stock or whatever, to buy property in the metaverse, or to buy this or that in the metaverse. And it's all a massive fucking scam. And like I said, the metaverse is total shit, and it's going to fail. It's going to fail epically. Okay. And when that does, until it does, and I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't think it's going to take that long. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years. In the meantime, Bitcoin is hanging around like the low 30s or the mid to high 30s. Like it can't seem to break 40K for very long till it gets pushed back down. But 77% of the Bitcoin that's currently in existence has not moved. Bitcoin people are not selling their fucking Bitcoin. You know what I mean? No matter what happens, they just hang on even tighter. So they can't really drive the price down that low. But all these big companies like Nike, Samsung, just fill in the blanks, they're all pouring a shit ton of money into the metaverse and NFT stuff. And once they lose all that money, once it's a massive fucking loss, and they realize they're fucked, like their cash reserves are gone, and whatever cash they do have is dropping in value dramatically because the price of oil is staying at $200 per barrel, and nothing's happening anymore. People robbing supermarkets just to get food. There aren't enough police to fucking arrest them. There aren't enough jail cells to put them in, right? Like all the shit, all that crazy shit that I was talking about 3 months ago, you're like, holy fuck. You know what I mean? People are going, how bad is this going to get? Right? That we have to stop this war to bring down the price of oil, bring down the price of food. The price of fucking wheat went like parabolic. You know what I mean? So all that stuff happened, right? Did I predict that exactly? No, but in general, I did, right? And the reason why is because of money printing. It's not because of the war with Russia, and it's not because of whatever anti-Semitism or whatever they think it is. This is not going to get better anytime soon, and a lot of people are crawling into fantasy world. And unfortunately, my family's that way. They keep fucking putting these memes on Facebook like, I wish I had $1.80 gasoline and a full refrigerator and some mean tweets because they're crying for Donald Trump to come save them. Donald Trump's not going to come fucking save you. You know what I mean? This is not a fairy tale. You're not a princess, okay? You're not a princess in a fairy tale that the noble fucking knight in shining armor is going to come save. That's not what this is. This is the real world. This is why I say you have to be an active participant in your own fucking rescue. People, you think I just said that just to fucking say because I think it sounded clever? People that would argue would say, well, don't buy Bitcoin, buy real estate. Okay. First off, the argument of Bitcoin is that the US dollar is shit, right? It's a shit coin. It's losing its value. So when people say buy real estate, they're agreeing with me that the US dollar is shit. Because if you just take your money, your green pieces of paper, and you put them in a fucking box, right? Not a box like this, but a shoe box, and you put it underneath your bed, right? It's going to be worth less 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now than it is now. So that's why they say invest in real estate. You have to get rid of the dollars and change it into something else. Real estate, gold coins, silver coins, stock certificates, something. The core truth that the Federal Reserve note, what we call the US dollar today, is garbage and is only losing value. That truth is unassailable. Now, what you're going to do about it, again, I'm 100% a Bitcoin maximalist. You could say, no, real estate, blah, 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 gold coins, stock certificates, whatever you think. I don't know. Okay. The problem with real estate is it can be confiscated from you and it costs money to keep for upkeep. You have to pay taxes, whatever, gold coins, you can't move them across the border, right? If you have to leave quickly, and you have a lot of gold coins, you're going to jingle and jangle when you move, and somebody with a gun is going to somebody with a fucking gun is just going to take them from you. You're going to go, hey, give me those shiny pieces of metal. You know what? And then you can go free. And you're gonna do it because you're a gold coin guy. You're not a fighting guy. So I try to explain all that, like the idea that something as small as this thing can hold a fucking Swiss bank account, a Swiss bank account. You could hang it around your neck. You could put it in an envelope and mail it to yourself in another fucking country. You know what I mean? You could just memorize the fucking password to that thing, right? You could tattoo it on yourself. Like this 100. And then when you get to wherever you're going, away from the bad stuff, right? You can go, ka-ching, here's my Swiss bank account. And people think, well, you're talking about crazy nonsense. No, I ain't, right? Now you're seeing $4, $4.25, $4.50. You'll see $5 gasoline soon. In California, it's already over $5. I think it's already $6. Okay. It's not getting better. They're not getting a hold of this. They're not going to fix this. While you can, trade your green Zog bucks for Bitcoin. And by the way, I just saw this on Twitter, and I believe it to be true. Coinbase, don't use fucking Coinbase. Please don't use Coinbase. Please do not use Coinbase. Use Gemini, use Kraken, use Strike, use like Cash App. Do not use Coinbase. Coinbase supposedly, as of today, froze the Bitcoin addresses of 25,000 people in Russia. Now, that's not fucking good. Coinbase, and the Coinbase CEO said this earlier in the week. We can't resist government pressure. We're going to do what the government tells us to do. So you take your green Zog bucks, you trade it for Bitcoin, and then you custody your own Bitcoin. You put it on a device like this or some other device. Ledgers, Trezors, cold cards. There's a one called Jade. There are multiple choices for you to store your wealth digitally on a device you physically control. Right? So this is more important than you think. Trusting Coinbase with your money, trusting Gemini with your money, trusting Kraken with your money is a bad fucking idea. Control it yourself and make it difficult and find a way to make it, because I know this because I got scammed. Find a way to make it difficult and slow for you to like spread it out. Don't make it like so easy to just to go out as fast as it came in. All right. So yeah. So the metaverse, I think, was a scam to extract value from what currently exists that BlackRock and Vanguard don't already have. And to trick you into buying a digital thing that's worthless. Once that crashes, and it hasn't even taken off yet, because like I said, they kind of started this when Putin went and fucking interrupted their little party by invading the Ukraine. When the metaverse thing fails, and it's got to start and fail first, right? They got to push this. It's got to start and fail, and then Bitcoin's probably really going to take off. But until then, cheap Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Like really cheap Bitcoin. You have the opportunity to stack cheap sats, you know. You might not see it that way, but that's the way it is. So far, and I'm not breaking my arm, patting myself in the back. I've been right about everything. Like things are looking more and more like the way I described them than other people who are talking about bullshit, right? So what was I going to do? I was going to try to do something funny and not so I don't want to be I don't want to be super heavy and dark, but you're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm gonna BRB right now. Put that in the chat. BRB. Okay. Yo, all right. Sorry about that. I think the reason why the chat's so light tonight, relative to what I normally get, I usually get like 4 or 5 people, but uh, like it's not. People are not in a good mood. They're shell shocked and they're, man. It's like I think a lot of them would listen to me and say, "Well, this guy's like screaming prophet of doom kind of shit. And it's not really going to happen." And they woke up and they found out, oh fuck, we're like one step closer, right? But the difference between you and I, and this is the difference between like the real Bitcoin maxis, right? The real Bitcoin maximalists. You know, people like myself who believe that the US dollar is going to be replaced by Bitcoin. Our conviction is so solid that I listen, I look at this stuff, it makes me sad, it makes me depressed, makes me angry, makes me fearful, just like everyone else. Like, fuck, how am I going to get through this? What am I going to do? My head is spinning with like, what if, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Well, like, how bad can it get? What if this happens? Can I do that? Can I do this? Can I do that? That the one thing I do know at the end of every day is we are one day closer to Bitcoin replacing the dollar. And a lot of people, they can't see that, right? They just think that I'm talking about some dumb fantasy shit, but you're seeing the dollar fall right now. As Russia and what came out the other day or yesterday, or today, where it was, MasterCard cuts off Russia, right? So all the credit cards for MasterCard and Visa are cut off in Russia. So what did Russia do? They went to the Chinese credit card companies. China has its own payment system, and Russia just joined that. By the way, India, which is also 1 billion plus people, 1.5 billion people, India was smart enough to not rely on American payment system. So India also has its own payment system. So China, Russia, and India, which is like, I don't know, 3 billion people, or about 40% of the fucking planet, have a method of buying and selling and transacting that is not controlled by the U.S. government and U.S. banks. And this is the end of the empire. This is it. This is what it looks like. You know what I mean? And the battle over this is going to create opportunities for ultimately for Bitcoin to dominate all of them. All of them. Because none of these people can be trusted. At the end of the day, this is an argument between Rothschild bankers in Moscow versus Rothschild bankers in New York and London. You know what I mean? That fighter planes are going to fall out of the sky, that children and women are going to be fucking blown to bits, that young men are going to be burned up to fucking death and blown into pink mist. It's not going to affect the bankers. It's not going to affect Jeff Bezos. It's not going to affect Bill Gates. It's not going to affect any of these people. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind. And destroying the system that props them up is probably the most moral thing you could dedicate your life to, if you were willing to dedicate your life to anything. And if you're saying, listen, I'm not a dedicate my life kind of guy, I'm a fucking cover my ass kind of guy. Well, you want to cover your ass? Own something that they don't control and they can't take from you. And I think that the stuff I'm saying, when you're pumping gas in your car, and your car used to fill up at fucking $35, and now it's $55, and your car still ain't full. All of a sudden, the crazy shit James is talking about doesn't sound so fucking crazy no more. And the idea that, somebody's going to come and save you, what makes you worth saving? Like, really, like, what makes you worth saving? What have you ever done to be considered that valuable? By the way, tonight's grape drink This was more expensive than I thought it was going to be. This is it's a Greek red wine that's 90% Greek grapes and 10% Cabernet Sauvignon, which is actually quite good. I thought it was $11, and I brought it to the counter. They're like, no, it's $14. I was like, oh fuck it, I'll buy it anyway. I actually like it a lot. I don't think I would drink it all the time because $15 for a bottle of wine is more than I want to spend. But yeah, better than I thought it was going to be. I'm liking that. That's like that's date night wine. That's some kind of date night thing. Anyway, and I'm nearly done with it. Very nearly done with it. But where are we? I was gonna, like so much fucking shit. I was gonna try and be funny, but I don't think I have the energy right now. I don't think I have quite the energy. No, that's not the one I want to share. Show me the other one. To be as funny as I thought I was going to be. Like a whole Ghost of Kiev thing. Like, where is it? But here's really, I think too many people. It's almost like I have no idea what I'm doing. It's almost as if I have not a fucking clue what I'm doing. I have some idea what I'm doing. By the way, the last show where I was like, the last show, I think I only got like 4 likes and 33 views. What happened? My ratings just fell off a cliff. My ratings fell off a cliff. You got to grab the audience quick and hook them in and just keep running along fast as you can, so they don't even notice it's gone by. And then they sat through the whole thing, but that's tough for me to do because let's be honest. How come I can't say? Oh, here we go. Eventually. This is like one of my favorite memes from a long time ago. I've had it for a while because, to be honest, most of the right wing Twitter, I think this is them, right? I think this is really a huge majority of these people that call themselves dissidents. They're just, it's like, what does it say exactly? Upper left-hand corner, I'm kind of trad. I think only one parent should have to work. And then there's Smiley Girl, I can't remember what her name is. The actress, I can't remember her name. And the wife stays home, right? The guy just stares. And the wife stays home, right? The reality that most people think they're going to do live streams talking about how much the Jews suck or how great monarchy is, and they're going to have like a 6-figure income and never have to leave the fucking house. The number of people that consider themselves like cutting edge political thinkers and sharp observers of what's happening in society is like this. They think the wife should have to go out to work and have kids and make the beds and cook the food and all the rest. Like that's how fucking delusional they are. That's why I fucking ignore all these people and just left them all behind. That's why I'm like, I realize your ideology sucks. All the ideas you are definitely in love with are shit. And you know how I know they're shit? Because you won't finance them. And the reason why you won't finance them is because you have no useful skills, right? Or abilities. and if you did have a useful skill or ability that actually brought you something of value, you wouldn't waste it on the things you claim to fucking care about. This is more obvious than you think. This is why everyone hates you. So that's why all those political people, I like it. I don't even know why I wasted as much time with them as I did, other than maybe I have an attraction to whatever's extreme, right? Like I've had maybe I didn't have a normie life. There's things certainly I haven't done and haven't experienced, but a lot of my experience is outside what's considered normal. So maybe I'm attracted to stuff that's considered extreme. But having rummaged around in that for as long as I have, I realize it's pointless fucking stupidity by dumb fucks who fucking, you know, who have no useful fucking skills and no problem solving abilities. So I was like, okay, I have to do something. For me, I have to feel like I'm doing. There's two things I can do, right? I can devote myself entirely to physical pleasures, right? Drugs, alcohol, sex, blah 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 blah. I can do that. I've seen people do that. There are tons of people doing that right now. Or I could feel like, well, I want to do something to change this, to fight back. And for me, maybe because I'm older, maybe because of whatever, a couple few other reasons, I'm like, all right, I've kind of done the drugs and sex thing. I wasn't really deep into drugs. And a lot of sort of physical pleasures, right? Riding motorcycles at triple digit speeds, all kinds of shit like that. Whatever big like adrenaline rush shit that I could do, that I could afford to do. So I'm like, well, I got to do something useful. I got to think like, okay, one, tell as many people as I can that what's coming and hopefully they fucking make smart decisions based on their circumstances. And two, I got to feel like I'm doing something that fucking hurts these cocksuckers, that fucking hurts these guys. And what that is throwing their Zog bucks out and then stacking Bitcoin. Is it the right move? I think it is. Look at the fucking wind. Look at the fucking, that's the amount of wind blowing through this room from, how's it coming from the north? Through the window in the fucking, over there. Making a flag wave as I speak. Wow. But, yeah, I feel like I got to do something useful. Right? Not just complain. And I want to urge other people to do the same thing. Not just complain. So that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Hopefully, even though the chat is super light tonight, I guess maybe you're a lot working overtime to pay for that tank of gas, or you're figuring out how you can live without whatever foods you used to think were critical to your existence. You're like, how can I live without blankety blank? Or you're just in shell shock looking at the receipt from the supermarket, like, oh my God. It isn't going to get better. When Biden's gone, it's not going to get better. I'm not saying this to scare you or make you feel like shit. I'm saying this so you can sit like an adult and think, okay, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to manage this? That's what I want people to do and think. And I hope that's what you do and think. Anyway, with that, we're coming up at 55 minutes. 55 minutes, 59, 56 minutes. Very light chat tonight. Very, very light chat tonight. Don't care. Anyway, listen, you probably got ready to watch this in the reruns. You're like, I don't want to hear depressing stuff. I was going to do what was I going to do? I'll try not to I try and finish on a fucking high note. I want to finish on a fucking high note, not a high note. How high of a note could I finish on? Come on, stop that. Fucking. Now my email don't want to work. Oh, that sucks. What if I delete that? What will happen now? Oh fuck. Like 14 this you think this fucking sucked. I had to do my tax. I did my taxes last week. Fucking TurboTax, which I used to love. I really fucking hate now because fuck this, goddamn it. I don't want to talk about my taxes. I was gonna do a thing about the Ghost to Kiev. There's a meme. I would show it, would fucking show it if it would fucking cocksucker. Won't do this. You just won't do this. Is this going to do what I want it to do? No, it's not going to do what I want it to do. Fuck. I'm doing everything right here. I'm not overloading the computer, so I don't know. Other than a shitty internet connection or some other thing. I can't even switch back and forth between my fucking Gmail. Like Google's not working for me, which has happened before in the past. And makes me suspicious. Anyway, listen, let's call the stream. You need to save what wealth you have in something that the government can't steal. I'm telling you, that thing is Bitcoin. But once this Russia or Ukraine kerfuffle is over, they're going to push something called the metaverse. That's going to be a massive failure. Between now and then, the price of Bitcoin is going to be relatively low, and you should be stacking like a fucking madman. You should be buying Bitcoin and pulling it off exchanges as fast as you can. Custody your own Bitcoin and be in a better position when everything crashes than you are now. That's what I want to tell you. And if you're a man, you got to take responsibility for this. Women and children make excuses. Men take responsibility. You know what I mean? I want to repeat that. Women and children make excuses, but men take responsibility. And if you're responsible for wife and child, you have to be responsible. That means no fucking excuses. Excuses are for women and children. Anyway, wish I could end this on a more cheerful note. I want to be cheerful, but like I said, I was going to do a thing. This will not fucking work for me. Never mind. They can't do my screenplay about the Ghost of Kiev. The Ghost of Kiev was a black female. I'll do it anyway. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it anyway. The Ghost of Kiev. Right? You remember the fighter plane that was knocking the Russians out of the sky like fucking, like swatting flies? Fuck it. Here's my screenplay. An Air Force general, right? A white guy, stops at a fast food joint and he sees a woman saying, she's trying to get her order. She's like, "Where's my biscuits and gravy? Where's my wings?" And then she gets into a fight with the person at the counter. She's like, "Bitch, bitch." And she's punching, right? She pulls her fucking wigs off, her weave off. "Bitch, bitch. My name is LaQuisha." And she's like, "Where are my wings? Where are my wings? Where are my wings?" And she's beating down this poor fast food worker. And this dude, he's like a 1-star fucking Air Force fucking general, like whatever, Air Force general. They have generals in the Air Force, right? And he's like, she seems to want her wings. And then she gets arrested, all right? And because, of course, she beat the crap out of a fast food worker over a $3 order, now a $9 order of chicken wings. And she gets thrown in jail. And then Air Force guy gets a phone call. It's like, "We need a fighter pilot. We need somebody to go undercover in the Ukraine to defeat the Russians." And this guy's like, "I think I know exactly who we need." And he goes and he talks to the local sheriff. And then they let LaQuisha out of jail. And he's like, the guy's like, "You want some wings? I'll get you some real wings." And then, of course, she gets enrolled in the fucking Air Force Fighter Pilot Academy. And this fucking nappy-headed fucking hoe is sitting there, and they're trying to explain like a pitch and yaw and roll. You know what I mean? And all this stuff. And she doesn't understand. She's like, I don't get what are you even talking about. And she's like, she can't make it through fucking pilot school, fighter pilot school, and she's crying. She's like, oh, in tears, sitting in the fucking barracks. And then one star general guy comes in, and he's like, LaQuisha, what's wrong? She's like, I can't make it. I don't even be understanding what they be talking about. And then he pulls up this picture. He's like, LaQuisha, you probably don't know this, but this is a picture of your grandfather. He was in the Tuskegee Airmen, and the Tuskegee Airmen were responsible for winning World War II. And she's like, really? So then she's like super inspired. Then she gets in the plane and she can fly the fucking jet. She does all the fucking maneuvers. And it's all like, you got to have the whole Top Gun music, She puts the fucking tight helmet over a gigantic fucking fro. Visor comes down. Guy's like, the dude's like trying to get her to fucking like, right? The traffic control guys, ATC guys, they're like, stop. And then they're like, go. And she like kicks in the afterburners and she flies around and does whatever. And she, they're like, we're going to deploy you, LaQuisha, we're going to deploy you to the Ukraine. And she's like, and they send her there, they send her up at night because you can't see her at night because she's got dark skin, and she's like, she's just shooting down Russian MiGs left and right. She's just, she's just shaking her black ass. She does an aerial maneuver called twerking. When an enemy plane comes on her, she twerks. She kind of shakes the back of the airplane and makes the person hunting her down like pass her by, and then she shoots them down with a missile. And they're like, wow, and she lands, and then of course the ground crew is like, yeah, and the plane rolls to a stop, and the fucking hatch pops open. And she's knocking fucking Russian MiGs out of the sky left and right. And then pretty soon the white pilots, who initially they didn't like her because she was black and she was female, all of a sudden they come to respect her because she's knocking Russian MiGs out of the fucking sky left and right. And then they actually paint her nails for her, right? They done paint her nails. And what they do on her nails is they paint, the longer her nail is, they paint a picture of each Russian MiG that she downed with her fucking, with her flying twerking skills, right? And let's see, where are we at? Here we go. I don't know why this took so long. Let's share. So there she is. There's LaQuisha. There's the ghost of Kiev, right? By day, she's fighting the racist Air Force system. And by night, she is knocking Russian MiGs out of the sky. The Ghost of Kiev. This season on Netflix. So there you go. This is the level of shitty CIA propaganda that's out there right now. But like I said, ignore this, ignore the metaverse. While Bitcoin is cheap, keep stacking Bitcoin, and be ready for what comes afterwards. Because when it really does take off, it's gonna. As the current system crashes, Bitcoin's going to moon. There's no way that's not true. There is nothing out there that is better than that right now. unless you believe that LaQuisha, the fighter pilot, is the ghost of Kiev, and that she's going to get through fighter pilot school, and when she lands after downing 5 Russian MiGs in one session, she'll just land there and the canopy pops open. She pulls her fucking helmet off her fucking nappy head, and the ground crew is all applauding. She's like Top Gun, you know what I mean? And she gets out of the plane and they surround her and they're like, "Yay!" They're screaming and yelling. And then the crowd parts, and the original Air Force general that found her, comes walking up, and he's got a little a paper plate, like, here's your wings, LaQuisha. And she's like, she just picks up a fucking, obviously it's a chicken wing, and she's like, "Thank you, sir." And that's that, and the movie ends, and that's it's like Top Gun, but it's been updated for a modern audience, a modern, more diverse audience. So, yeah, that's where we're at. That's the funniest thing I sort of came up with. I tried to make it happen earlier, but the fucking computer wouldn't operate. That's as ridiculous and as stupid as that sounds. That's like the sanest thing you're gonna fucking hear this week. Cheers, boys and girls. I know it's scary, and I know you don't feel good about this, but you can if you make the right decisions, and you are capable of making the right decisions, you can get yourself and those you care about through this. Right? This has been done before by other people. It can be done by you, right? Other people have done this. You can do this. So be smart, be reality based, and start thinking in terms of risk management, problem management, and what would I do if, and what would I do if, what would I do if this happened, what would I do if that happened, and then prep to do those things, right? So anyway, my viewership all the way up to 3, 2 lurkers in one, and of course Judas Flychild, the only man with the courage enough to come into the chat. So with that, where are we at? We're at about an hour and 9, 1 hour and 9. I'll call stream because it's a Monday night. You're all out working overtime to pay for your gas bill, to fill your tank, or buy groceries. And you know what? Hopefully, I will be. Maybe we'll have better news next week. Anyway, good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you again in the future.